welcome back, welcome black to In Black America Radio with your host Rasta B. And let's go ahead and punch in the co-host right now. Smoke, are you there? No, you are not. Smoke.
Yes, sir.
All right.
You supposed to go a little longer for you.
Yeah. When I saw you, I said, you know what, let's just jump inside. You know what I'm saying? I should have brought another tune.
Let's be introduced. I'm like, God damn. So you got my headphones.
Yeah. I started to drop one more song. I was going to play this Tommy Lee joint, Timing. That's my little joint I've been rocking to. But next time, you know what I mean? It's Friday, you know what I'm saying? July 10th. It's July 10th. Today's title was Dear Black America. White. I should have put whites. I meant to put whites with an S, but I just put white. Can't save us, like I'm talking about cocaine or something. But I meant whites can't save us. 4 more months to the election, right? So we're going to talk about various topics. We're going to talk about Trump versus Biden. We're going to talk about the black murders that's going on in America. And we're going to talk about, various things, various topics. You know what I'm saying? Guest calling number 516-531-9992. So before we start with any of those topics or any of those discussions, how was your week?
It was a regular week, you know what I'm saying? Not too much major going on. Mostly this week I've just been focusing on the stock market, just trying to make a few dollars here and there. You know what I'm saying? Just playing around with Tesla stock and a lot of the really tech stocks. Tech stocks seem like they on the bubble right now where you could make some money before things start to go into a recession or whatever. But that's pretty much all I've been doing all week, just looking at that, seeing shit that I missed. Putting all the stuff on my watch list, things like that. Just put a regular week outside of that. Well, not really a regular week. I'm thinking it's been a crazy week, to be honest. I just thought about it, I just really just want to say, rest in peace to Jacqueline Lincoln. The daughter of one of the homies, Brock Lincoln. She was killed in a car accident. So, I just want to give some respect to her. Rest in peace, young queen. She was only 18. You know what I'm saying? I've been really trying to put that shit out my mind because it's sad, really. You know what I'm saying? And it being, it's not my daughter, but it's close to home and shit. So it's like, that was like a downer of the week. You know what I mean? But outside of that, just been trying to focus on the stocks and to see what opportunities I can come up on. You know what I mean?
No, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Some of the news that's been going on lately has been Shorty from that Glee shit, you know what I'm saying? The one that was used to fuck with Big Sean, Naya Rivera. She's already a little nutty, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm anticipating to hear that, this was more of a suicide than anything. So that was one.
You the second person I heard say that.
What, she nutty or that it might be a suicide?
Well, that part, but it just seemed like I guess them knowing her personality or seeing the personality, I guess they follow her or whatever. They could see that being, what you said on the latter part, some type of suicide or something to that effect. But that's crazy.
If you follow, Shorty was nutty. Okay, Shorty was nutty. You know what I'm saying? So it's just and then even listening to the story, you know what I'm saying? The little seed, he's sleeping, and the mother. So it's just a lot of questions. They already said that they noticed that the life jacket that she would have worn, that shit was hanging up. You dig what I'm saying? That shit was hanging up.
Yeah.
So, Now they saying like they don't know if that's an extra one or not, because they trying to give it a benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? That, but
yeah,
shit.
they want to keep looking for shit like that.
Yeah, I mean it's cool to do that. You know what I'm saying? I mean they still got to do it.
Yeah, that's wild. 2020, boy. You just hearing all type of wild shit. Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? But,
Word up.
I mean, hopefully,
a lot of crazy.
you know, if it's some type of rescue to be made, hopefully, you know what I mean, she can be safe or some shit. But don't really sound good as far as the story.
I ain't even.
Don't sound good.
Imagination don't even run that far to think that it's a possibility that.
Yeah.
Then the next story is what's the name? Roger Stones. You heard about that one?
Getting locked up.
Getting pardoned.
Yeah.
He got pardoned.
I saw that earlier today.
He just got clemency and shit. You know what I'm saying? Trump just gave him clemency. So he's in the clear basically. Right across another story of Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish. He's speaking about his support of Black Lives Matter. And it's funny what he said, because he said he's sure that he's lost fans. But he said he can't keep on continuing to act as if everything's okay. Wow. And that's funny to me because Darius Rucker, is the only black is the black dude from Hootie and the Blowfish, right? And he was like
he's from SC.
Right. See, he was basically the only black. He's from SC?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's from.
He's from out here. I thought I'm about to look it up right now. I want to say.
Yeah, I always thought he was from Brooklyn. Yeah, but then South Carolina, it's still, you know what I mean. But what I'm about to say. So he was always the that independent that black person. You say where? Charleston.
Yeah, I was gonna say Columbia, but yeah, I knew he was from out here somewhere.
But do you know about the story?
No, go ahead. I was just saying he was from here.
So what happened?
This story.
Yeah, well, it's not really a big now. Basically, he's like, he can't continue to act like everything is okay and everything is cool. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because when I was younger and I saw him and I was just like, oh, Hootie and the Blowfish, and seeing the black dude there, and even seeing him with his independent career, I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like how is he? And it's not just him, but it's all black people like him. And I would be like, damn, how y'all operate in a world with a smile on your face like that? So when he said that he can no longer pretend that everything is sweet, I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It reminds me of the scene in Hoodlum when Clarence, the brother Clarence, I can't think of his last name, but Clarence something the third, and Lawrence Fishburne character asked him, how did you go to sleep at night? And he said, how you know I sleep? So I'll be thinking about that with black people that's in that white world. When you see them grinning and smiling and shit, you're like, damn, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you could be around these motherfuckers like that? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So now I guess it finally cracked on.
That, like, something to that effect. One of us on the show, like it really, like, what I'm seeing now is like it. And I know we said this before, you know what I mean? There's really no place to hide as black people, you know what I'm saying? It's like you can go and you can try to live in those worlds and like he said, you just ignoring it. You just like, well, because I'm good. But there's no place to hide. No matter what you're doing, you think being a coon gonna make you safe, or just putting yourself in a certain area, or you achieved a certain financial status, you still black in America. And you can't ignore that fact, you know what I'm saying? And so that's that's a clear indication of it, because we know Darius Rucker and what we know what he represents as far as his music and the type of person he is, as far as like the image of it. You like he ain't really black music, he a black guy, you know what I'm saying? But it's like you can't run away from that regardless. He about the closest to that world that you can probably put somebody to. You know what I'm saying? He's successful in all of that. He, like you said, he made he's a big time artist. It's not like he's just
he's
a
a
little
huge.
guy. He's a big artist.
Yeah,
Huge.
legend.
So it's like
He's
so exactly. So it's like even for him, somebody who acclaimed all the fame, got probably not thinking about nothing financially. He good, family is good. It's still not safe for you, and it's like he coming to that realization, and a lot of black people need to come to that realization that it's not. No matter where you go, you're still black in America, and it's shit that we gotta get in order to protect ourselves.
Right. Then the other thing I noticed in the news, this is all like quick current events type stuff. The other one is, let me see where I can find this one at. The other one that was pretty. I mean, I guess we can run through this real quick. This women's news, really. The whole Will and Jada and August Alsina, yeah. You know. Man, like, I ain't got nothing to say about that weird ass family. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I said that's woman news. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can fill in the rest of that shit. Black woman. I'm pretty sure y'all. Once I said the title, y'all already know the whole story. So you know, I ain't even gotta elaborate on that. And if you're a man and you like August Alsina, Jada, Will, what the hell are you talking about? Rasta B? Go ask a woman. Go ask your woman. She knows. Trust me. I ain't gonna elaborate on that.
His ass know too. Everybody
know. You're front. Be like, what you mean? Are you talking about the story? Yeah, they know the story too. But this is the story that I found interesting though. So you know, there's a new. I don't know if it's a new Kid Cudi song or if it's a M and Kid Cudi. You know, I don't know if Kid Cudi's coming out for album or if it's a joint album or something like that. But you know, Eminem got it. It's a new song, so everybody's talking about the Eminem lyrics, right? They said, oh yeah, it's a collaboration album. So the title is called The Adventures of Moon Man and Slim Shady. So, so they got the lyrics to this shit go like this. This is supposed to be the quote unquote controversial lyrics, right? So it goes, that's New Orleans. What? Fuck Drew Brees. And raps at the start of his verse, referring to the New Orleans Saint quarterback who drew a backlash for suggestion that NFL players shouldn't kneel in protest of racial injustice. Then he goes, now they're talking about the people who don't want to wear a mask, right? Don't want to wear a mask, and they're just scoffing, he raps. And that's how you end up catching the shit off them. I just used the same basket as you shopping. Now I'm in a fucking casket from you coughing. Then they talking about the George Floyd Arbery. He goes, how the fuck is it that so many cops are dirty, huh? He says, stop, man, please, officer, I'm sorry, but I can't breathe when I got you on top of me. Your goddamn knees on my carotid artery, right? So he's saying all of that shit, right? I read the comments, right? All the white people dissing Eminem. All of them dissing Eminem. All of them sitting over here. Oh, who just washed up rapper? We ain't know Eminem was still alive. This 15 minutes of fame ain't over yet. And all that. I said, whoa. Drops whack album after whack album after whack album, and y'all praise his albums, right? And then when he says something that hits home, throw the mirror up to his community, to his fan base, and then it lets you see who his fan base is. Lets you see what's in the heart of these type of Americans. You see what I'm saying? So now they shitting on Eminem. And that's what made me laugh, because when I seen the backlash from the comment, and I'm like, damn, all of them shitting on Eminem, all the white boys shitting on Eminem, you know what they let me know? Y'all all gonna vote for Trump. You see what I'm saying? Y'all all gonna vote for Trump. Look, here's another one, Smoke. Did you hear about the new boycott campaign going on?
Which one?
Huh?
Which one? I know they had the boycott on the 7th. Yeah, that was the 7th.
No, not the. Oh no! Oh, I don't even want to get into that stupid ass boycott. I didn't even know boycott until the 7th. I was like, what? I put gas in the car today. I didn't even know.
Yeah, it was after the 4th.
So I asked my sister. I said, "Yo, I didn't even hear about this boycott shit, right?" I said, because I'm on social media and all of that. I'm in something called the real world. So my sister, she says, oh yeah, well if you was on social media, they was advertising this for a whole month. I said, so they advertised for a whole month to boycott for a day? That makes sense? I don't know.
Yeah, they've been talking about it, but it ain't been nothing serious. I mean, just posting shit. And then when the day came up, it was like, oh, buy black. People start putting their posts up. Oh, send me this post. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was. I mean, people was doing it, but I mean, again, I don't know. I can't. No. I didn't buy nothing that day by default. But
let me correct you. Like, nobody was doing it. Because one time on Monday, and then turn around and buy the shit Tuesday. That's not a boycott. You get what I'm saying? That's not a boycott.
Yeah.
If you can't buy something on Monday, if you don't buy something on the 7th of July, but then purchase it on the 17th of July, like, what are we talking about? That's not a boycott.
A lot of people I was following, they wasn't really doing it like that. They was doing like, basically just send the black people joint and we gonna buy from them. You know what I mean? Like, basically buy from black person today. You know what I'm saying? Type of shit. Yeah. The other part, the boycott part was, I guess, was part of it. You know what I'm saying? But you know how that go.
Yeah. That's economy again. That's why I be so confused. Because when I'm telling black people about economy, I get backlash. But then everybody keeps saying the same mantras and the same narrative. Buy black and support black. Dummy, that's called an economy. That's why it's important to rebuild your economy. Because when you have an economy, guess what? You don't even got to say buy black and support black.
Yeah, it's happening.
You're just gonna happening. You know the neighborhoods. You know where your community is. Black Americans don't get that because we was trained not to think like that. When you look at Latinos, right?
Yeah.
No matter the country they come from, if they know this is a Latino product, they buying it. They buy shit for pride, racial pride.
Yeah.
They buy shit for cultural pride. Their shit is about pride. Jamaican shit is about pride. Black West Indians, because I want to name all the islands, is about pride. You see what I'm saying? When you look at Nigerians and all kind of shit like that, them niggas got pride. You see what I'm saying? Pride. Black Americans don't have pride. It's not our fault. But we don't have pride. You see what I'm saying? So what happened is we're so used to being attacked that the thought of coming together is not a necessity to black people. The thought of coming together, we only come together out of, you know what, maybe I'm saying it wrong. We only come together out of a sense of necessity. But we're not going to come together in a sense of racial pride or racial upliftment. You know what I'm saying? If I'm using the word necessity correctly, right?
No, I feel what you're saying.
Yeah. Or maybe I should say convenience. But it's like, if it's a need for us to come together, police killing us, shit like that, then it's like, we're going to...
I mean, that's basically what's happening when you look at the, that buying black campaign and shit like that. It's like...
Right.
A lot of the companies and stuff like that we have is just like, it's not like stuff, it's not products you need or a necessity. You know what I'm saying? It's like T-shirts. You got somebody who they got a clothing line, so you don't really got to buy a clothing line. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like you got all of this confusion and chaos that's going on in America, and so Black America is all over the place. So now you see, like, we wanted to promote those black businesses. as a byproduct of what's happening. It's like, well, hey, this is going to, we all we got. Come buy from us. But, you look at a lot of the businesses, it's like, it's not things that we actually need, you know what I'm saying? And with the way that economics is, like the economics is downturning in the country, a lot of those businesses going to fail anyway because, they're not necessities. So it's like something I could cut out of my life. I don't need certain things. If it's not like still pertaining to like health, cleansing myself and things like that, you don't necessarily need it. You know what I mean? I don't need to buy clothes or a pair of sneakers or, you know what I mean? Not saying that we don't have products that you don't like. There's a lot of great black designers and things like that, but it's not like like we take this coronavirus shit going on. What was missing? Toilet tissue. Well, are there a lot of black toilet tissue makers? There are some, but are they large scale? Things like that. So it's like,
don't do that. It don't matter if it's large scale. It doesn't matter if it's large scale. The first question is the correct question. Is there black toilet paper making companies? Yes, it's a few. That should be it. Because the large scale depends on the customer base. Once you get more people buying your products and you notice that there's an increase of return buyers, then you're going to increase and widen and make bigger your production. And then it becomes large scale. So, let's not get...
But what I'm saying is, it's not so much a knock on it. What I'm just saying is, like, if I go in the store, it's not there in the store. I got to go through a different channel to probably get to that, to that product. You know what I'm saying? I don't really, it's not a knock on it. Because if you're doing any business and making money, that's a great thing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, like, the access, like, just being accessible. Like, I want some toilet tissue. I'm going to go in the store and say, Scott, nope, black man brand, here we go. I might have to go buy it online or travel somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, overall, we don't have a lot of businesses that cater to that type of thing, things that we need, necessities. You know what I'm saying? That's really all I was trying to say. Not really trying to knock anybody hustle.
And because you're not talking about the actual company, you're talking about now distribution. Because now
like,
how
it's available to people. You know what I'm saying?
Compared to
availability and just existence of it, because you go into other markets, is no black existence at all. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just that we, those are the type of companies we spoke on that before. It's like those are the type of things that we, build, like
having a Black Family Dollar or a Black Dollar General. You know what I'm saying? With a knock on the Black Dollar General, Black Family Dollar. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's like, you have them out in the hood, and any black product, anything that black people make, they get frontline shelving in that store. If black people don't make it, then we got to get what the other races of people make, right? Until we get replaced. But when you walk inside the store, you automatically going to be touching black product, because instead of me having Tide, I'm going to have the laundry detergent from the Freedom Papers website. You know what I'm saying? Because they sell laundry detergent. So when you walk in, you're not even looking at Tide, Trend, Clorox, and then the black product. Nope. You're looking at the black product. If you see white product, that's because you find a black person that makes the product. Right. That's it. Until then,
but like in all those products are things you need. So like if you got the necessities on one side, like your toothpaste, your health stuff, your toiletries, all that type of stuff, and then, let's say in one store, and on the other side you got T-shirt, you got the non-necessities, the high fashion clothes, shoes,
high fashion
things like that.
Let that go to another store.
No, I'm just saying in general, like if you could just put all those products together, a lot of our stuff is going to be on the non-necessity side. So in a time like this, where you like, I'm only in the store for necessities, stuff that I need. I'm going to the other side where it's a small portion of us that is going to make money off of it. Like in a time like now, you're going to put all that stuff to the side. And a lot of where you look at
and sneakers, but I need toilet tissue right now.
Right.
Now I got it. I get that shit.
You know, just stuff like that. Yeah. Because I mean, the thing is, overall, if you making money, you put a product out there, you sell it, and you make money.
Right.
That's business. So you know what I'm saying. You can't ever knock somebody hustling. I don't care if you selling socks. It is what it is. You making money. So it's not. I'm not saying it to knock it. You know what I'm saying. I'm just saying more so in the big scheme of things when we need it.
Yeah. I got a better understanding what you're saying, because you're not so much talking about. You're more so talking about how accessible it is for the consumer to get it. And then if you was to show, as an example, products that's important that we need everyday shit versus, you know, little bullshit products that we make. A lot of us go to bullshit product. A lot of times it's easy to make, where the shit that we actually need, that's made by other races of people. And that's the stuff that we're most consuming because we need it for our crib. So, And to add to that, that's why when people ask the question, well, how do you plan on starting an economy, Rasta B? Just look around. And whatever's out, whatever's made, if a black person ain't making it, then guess what? You make it then. You start it. You figure it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it.
Yeah.
If you get, like, even water, right? And I'm not saying there's not a black water company. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, if we don't got control over the water we drink, if that's the case, there is no black person that controls our water. You see? If there's not a black person, okay, I'm going to show you an example, Smoke, because I got a story right here. If we don't got control over our food, right? Let's say, for example, shrimp, right? For a specific example. We get our shit from everybody else. We have no control over our foods, right? Muslims, they eat halal, right? Jews, they eat kosher, right? So they made sure people that's handling their food practice a clean lifestyle. They care and they're going to follow the rules. It's not about money. So their foods are different, the way it's cut and all kind of things like that, right? Black Americans, because we don't have control over our economy, over food, clothing, shelter, we are subjugated to everybody else's rules. How everybody else want to clean and cut and ship food, right? So check this. This is from today, July 10th. This is in the Bloomberg News. I'm not even going to read the title, right? I'm just going to get into the story. It says, China said samples of imported shrimp tested positive for coronavirus, raising questions again over whether the pathogen can spread through food or frozen products. You see what I'm saying? Now, how many is out here eating shrimp? You know what I'm saying? Big old shrimps in our grits. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Bacon, shrimp.
Where we getting it from, though? You see what I'm saying? They said the come from China. They said China imported this. So it comes from an Ecuadorian plant. They said the samples were from 3 Ecuadorian plants, and imports from those processes will be halted. That's what China said when they checked it out. Now, here's my question. I'm going to tell you, they got this documentary called Life and Debt, D-E-B-T, in Jamaica, right? Jamaican documentary talking about how the government basically raped the people and have them in heavy debt, right? So there was some food, right? Some chicken back, the backs of the chickens, shit that, scrap, basically.
Chicken back.
So they send the shit to the Jamaicans, right? The Jamaican scientists there, right? Just like how the Chinese are food scientists, food general or whatever, they check the food to make sure it's good when it's imported. Checks the chicken back, and they like, yo, all that shit was months old, yo. That shit was bad food. The food was rotten. You know what I'm saying? Old, bad. And they like, yo, what kind of shit is this? Right? Now, mind you, they're already sending the Jamaican people chicken back. These are parts of chicken. So they're selling leftovers. This is how capitalism works, right? Well, white capitalism works, right? So now the when the scientists addressed this to the company or whatever, you know what I'm saying, the farmers who sent it to Jamaica. Right. The company or whatever told the Jamaican, oh, bring it back. My bad, we didn't mean to send it to y'all. We meant to send it to Haiti. You see? We meant to send it to Haiti, right? So the reason why I say that story is for this purpose here. The virus tested positive on both the inside and the outside of the shrimp packaging, right? Says the Chinese General Admission of Customs, right? The samples were from 3 Ecuadorian plants, and imports from those processes will be halted, right? But you know what they never told you? What they did with that? What they did with that meat. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Could they have disposed of it? Yeah, they could have disposed of it. You know what I'm saying? Hope we would all hope.
Possibly.
That. But when I told you about the chicken back story, you know what I'm saying? That's a true story, and this is old meat. And when they sent it to Jamaica, they, oh, my bad, we didn't mean to send it to y'all, get rid of it. No, they said, give us back this old meat, and we're going to send it to another country. Go ahead.
But what's funny is, like, earlier today I was watching, one of the news networks. I think it was CNN, one of them. And actually it was MSNBC. All right, whatever. But they was talking about, basically the tainted, not tainted meat, but people not trusting the process of going to the supermarket to buy meat anymore because of, the whole virus situation or whatever. So they was talking about this, I guess they would be considered a meat processor, you know what I mean? And basically they was talking about how they having a surge in them in business where people are bringing in, instead of them going to the supermarket to get their meat, they actually hunting or, buying their meat from hunters and taking the meat actually in there and getting it cut up and, done the whatever way they want. So they know where the meat came from, where it was sourced from. If they go down there, chop it up, butcher it, use some steaks and all that shit, and you get everything back. And they just saying how they making so much money off of that process. And they had this one guy talking like, I'm not going to the supermarket no more. And I've been there. He pretty much talking about how he, this is his new method of getting his meat. I think he was saying like he had a person he sourced his meat from. So they go hunting. Right. He get the shit off of the tape, bring it back over there. Like pretty much fresh. He get it fresh, bring it over there. Get his meat
I didn't hear this part. Not to cut you off, but I didn't hear this part. Maybe the music in the background. You said these black people live where?
Oh no, these white people.
Okay. My bad. We still going to the grocery store. You see what I'm saying? We still going to the grocery store. Everybody else has moved away, figured out a whole nother fucking way to do shit, and we still in the grocery store, standing 6 feet apart with masks on and shit, eating fucking shrimp that's tainted with goddamn coronavirus and shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's the point, the whole point that I'm making.
Yeah.
When you understand how this economy shit work, and how capitalism work, and how this game works, and things of this nature, you're going to go out, you're going to do. You're not going to sit there and complain. And again, I'm never going to blame the people because I know we're being misguided and
it's never that.
You know what I'm saying, by the bigger heads and shit. But that is an example right there. White people go to the grocery store to get their meat just like black people go to the grocery store to get their meat. But then what white people said? Well, shit, my friend here, he hunts. He hunts. Let him go carve up some meat and shit and sell it on some butcher type shit. See me, I'm a vegetarian. You see what I'm saying?
Hunters, farmers.
If the black people out there that hunt, right, listen to that story, you got you a new industry, homie. You got you a business right there, homie. Straight up. Become a butcher. Because guess what? And this is how economy work. This is how economy work, Smoke. And this is for black people that think, oh my God, you saying race first? What, the economy? You sound like a separatist. You sound like you want to separate and you want to... Listen, man. Smoke, you're a hunter. You hunt meat. You carve it up with the full intent of selling it to your people, yo. Right? But you start noticing white people coming over there too. They're like, oh shit, you carve meat too? I want to buy some of that fresh meat that you have, right? How are you treating them?
Like a customer.
Oh, okay. All right. How do you feel selling your fresh meat to a white person?
All green is the same. All legal tender.
You just saying, like, what are we talking about? And guess what? They just brought black and support black. They just brought it black and supported black. Didn't even know it, didn't even care. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But that's called what? Wealth.
Yeah.
Because
and to tie back into the earlier point, those two things you mentioned, water and we was mentioning meat and food, basically. Those are like probably the two most important things that we don't control, that we have to, that we're not in that industry of. So, you know what I'm saying? That's really the thing. Like, those are the industries that we got to jump into.
Don't smoke. Those are the industries we don't control. And those two products also contribute to our illnesses that's causing us to die at high numbers, so they say, from coronavirus.
Right.
Look, your water got lead. Yeah, I'm about to say, if your water got lead in it, your water all fucked up, and that's fucking up your health. If your meats is all fucked up, that's fucking up your health. You would think
that was part of the Freddie Gray story. Freddie Gray from Baltimore. Wasn't Freddie Gray from Baltimore, if I'm remembering correctly?
Yes. R.I.P. to that
the
brother.
Baltimore water was fucked up there, and it was pretty much trying to tie that into, like, the action or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I forgot all about that. I forgot about that. Because I forgot he was tied up into a lot of that lead shit that was up there.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just like, these are the things we don't control. These are the things that we have to. But see, a lot of times we'll defeat ourselves by saying stupid shit like, black people, we not gonna. No, once you start talking shit like that, my ears start to close up. I don't even want to hear that because you're talking to me. You're now playing the role of the white man. You know what I'm saying? First of all, we're brainstorming. So if we're brainstorming, right? Why are we or tearing down the story? We're just brainstorming. I'll sit over here and be like, we need the economy. Yeah, but it's going to take 100 years for that to work. Okay. Shit, you got to
start somewhere.
Yeah, before you get to the 100th year. So what are we talking about? I was debating on one of these Roland Martin pages and stuff, and talking about the economy again. So this brother, we going back and forth with stuff, but some people they like. Well, one of the brothers at the end, he gonna say, I shouldn't read this shit, but he said some shit like, let me see, can I find that shit real quick? I wanna say it accurate. I don't want to say it off the top of my head because I really don't remember. Yeah, but he said some shit like, it's gonna take a while before more privatized companies trust our poor communities again since businesses got burnt again. They were there were some contracts in the works, um, but investors are demanding to pull out. He gonna tell me, I hope you all the best though, and I'm like, investors pulling up. That means you're not talking about black investors. That means that's black investors because if you're talking, because that's what nobody understands when I'm talking about this economy thing. It doesn't matter if there's a riot and your business get burnt down in the riot. That's par for the course. Again, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. For the people that are crying about the damn, oh, my store got burnt down because of the riots, it still got closed down because of COVID. You see what I'm saying? Same shut. I mean, what are we talking about? Shit happens. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, what are we talking about? We can't look at life visualistically. We have to be a monolith. And we have to say to ourselves, yo, we got to build. One person we back and forth, and this made a good point, but it's a point that I always talk about is, teaching the babies, teaching the children, and letting them know what the mission is. You know what I'm saying? At 5, 6, 7, and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to let them know what the mission is. So as they get older, they understand I'm learning, I'm educating myself, I'm building myself up physically and shit like that. I'm trying to better myself and be great to strengthen my race, to push my race further up in society and stronger to protect themselves. That's my goal and that's my purpose. That way, when you're in the medical field, you're not following guidelines. You want to find out what's going to heal and help your people. You dig what I'm saying? When you're a contractor, you're realtor or some shit like that. Oh, nah, you really trying to look out for your people because you know the importance of us having a home. You know the importance of us having adequate health care. You know the importance of us being treated fairly in the court systems, and you know what I'm saying, when we deal with black judges and shit. But no, we're not a monolith. So because we're not a monolith, when I'm a judge, all I see is a black nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's it. The fuck you do, young man? Another nigga fucking up. You know what I'm saying? So to me, looking out for him would be not overcharging him for his crime or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right, yeah. So we'll look at the whites now, look out for theirs. Even though they fuck theirs over too. I don't play that victim bullshit. Them whites will fuck each other over in a heartbeat. That's their nature. We just walk into their world, get fucked over, and be like, oh, you fucking me over because I'm black. No, it's just another list of somebody that they can say they don't like. But if your black ass wasn't there, they fuck white boy because he got freckles. They fucking up the white boy. Fucking up the white boy because he got a nose. They fucking up this white boy because he got brown eyes or some stupid shit. Like, they will find a reason to discriminate, to hate, to play prejudice games and isms and schisms. That's in their culture. We jumps into their world, and then they be like, oh, look, we can hate him because he's black. And then we start to hate ourselves. That's what we don't realize. We start to hate ourselves, and then we start to say, oh, it's happening because I'm black. And then somebody tells you, oh, that's racism. Now we walking around, yes, we need to fight racism. We can't fight an ideology. The only thing you can do is protect yourself against the ideology. That's it. That's what Booker T tried to explain to black people, but we didn't get it because the bigger heads came down to argument, which was we need to be equal, participate in the white man's system. Washington said, secure yourself economically in this system and make yourself of value and worth. then what's going to happen is segregation, racism, and all of them ill feelings that whites have for us, all that shit going to fall to the wayside. Why? Because what he was trying to save that he couldn't save back then was we would have been so economically strong that we wouldn't even have needed them. We would have been so economically strong that if they wanted to practice racism against us, they will fail because we don't need them. We would have been so economically strong that if they wanted to play segregation games on us, it wouldn't matter because we don't need them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But we didn't hear what Booker T because Booker T was talking in code. Booker T was talking in code. Booker T is trying to figure out how the hell to finesse these whites. He straight up told them in the late 1800s, talking about immigrants and immigration. He said to the whites in America, you don't want to trust those immigrants. Work with us, man. Listen, I know we had a rough past. I know all the shit that we went through. But listen, let bygones be bygones. Let us work together to strengthen America. Don't team up them immigrants. And when they said immigrants, they wasn't even talking about Latinos. They wasn't talking about West Indians and African. No, they was talking about Italians, Polish people, Russians, all them Europeans that came over on Ellis Island. When they was coming off the boat, they was throwing them into work and war and all kind of shit like that. And Booker T. Washington was trying to prevent all of that shit and was like, yo, listen, hey, keep fucking with us, yo. Don't switch sides. You know us, we know you. Listen, let us be allies. But then W.E.B. Du Bois' side started to scream, no, we need to be part of their society. We need to be appreciated in their society. That's not what we need. Now we get the appreciation. We're all in their society with no economy. So now we're back to being slaves. Now we're children, asking for permission and begging. And it's
we're in somebody's house. We're in somebody else's house.
And it's so sick, Smoke, because then we
get your feet off that table. Take your shoes off when you walk through it. Yo, grab my refrigerator.
Black. The reason why he keep telling me all this shit. Cause look at him. He got this. Look at the white boy. He in the fridge. And look, the white boy dropped all that shit on the floor, and they don't say shit. But as soon as I drop some shit on the floor, then everybody will get mad. Now I gotta switch like I'm a slave and all kind of shit. What kind of bullshit is this?
Turn that TV off at 10 o'clock.
Bullshit, man. No one I be wanting to watch shit at 11. But see what they do to the black man.
In my house when I ain't here.
That's how that shit go. And instead of saying, yo, let me get my own house, no, we're gonna change the rules in this house for everybody. We want quality in this house. No, this ain't your house.
They going to their sons and daughters like, hey, could you tell your daddy, look, all I want is my own room. I can watch TV when I want it. If I want to smoke in it, just help me out, man. Please, you know what I mean? Please. We don't want to we don't want to move and shit. Like, call the fucking moving truck. You're like, no, I want my own room right here. Listen, don't tell me what to do. I want to be able to bring over who I want. This is just my room. This is this part right here. I want to go in the refrigerator when I want. Come on.
See, but that's why we
make sure y'all got them filled up. Make sure you got the fridge filled.
See, but that's why we miss out on so much shit. Because now, even with the same story with the Chinese and shit like that, what they say, for shrimp, right? Well, let me read on the top. It say employees in some countries. All right, let me read one more line up. Hold on. So it says, Chinese officials have always agreed that global experts that imported food pose a low risk of transmitting the virus, right? Then they say the tests are. Then they say that led to confusion overseas over why China is continuing to test and halt shipments. The tests are an important measure to prevent the risk of the virus being transmitted from imported cold chain food channels. This is a necessary measure taken to protect the health of the people and does not interrupt normal international trade. They said employees in some countries are still working even after being infected with the virus, raising the risk of food contamination. Because there is a big cluster at some overseas facilities, China halted meat imports from a total of 23 plants, including Brazil, the UK, the United States, and Germany, right? Now check this. This is the part that we have, like, if you're thinking black first, if you're thinking about uplifting the race, because again, just like David Walker said, black people must move as individuals to better themselves, right, for the betterment of the race. So that don't mean we all got to come together for anything to work. No. Work on your family. I work on my family. Smoke work on his family. Everybody work on their family with the understanding that we're bettering the race. So now when your children get older and my children get older, there'll be that first generation of race first, better your race, strengthen your race, be productive, right? Now they have children, and then they're the second generation. They're the ones that's taking over the first generation's businesses and taking it to the next level. They're the ones that's going to get into the politics. They're the ones that's going to get into the real control of the community. Then their children are going to have. You see what I'm saying? That's how you build. But this is the process.
Yeah.
So I say shrimp. China is a much bigger buyer than it is for salmon. They say China purchases are on the same scale as the U.S., Europe, and Ecuador is the leading supplier. Okay? So Ecuador is the leading supplier of shrimp, and their shrimp is testing positive for coronavirus. So you know what that means, black people? There's a market to sell shrimp. There is a market to sell shrimp. Because if they cannot get the shrimp from the largest market, which is Ecuador, because it's contaminated, that means these other people is not saying, well, we're not going to eat shrimp no more. No, these people are looking for other shrimp outlets. So there's a market for shrimp, black people. You see what I'm saying? This is what happened when you think race first. This is what happened when you say to yourself, I want to strengthen my race. Not begging, not asking for permission, not crying because of statues. I never understand that statue shit. You want to tear down statues of the Confederacy and these racist-ass white motherfuckers for what? To make them better in the future? To make them look less racist in the future? To make them look like they was, like, for what? Leave them shits up there.
And that way when people... the laws, though.
See, my shit is this. Leave them up there so when visitors come, you could be like, yeah, that's a racist-ass white person right there. And then your statues of greatness. So when people come, they like, oh, they go Malcolm X. Oh, they go Martin Luther King. Oh, they go this brother. They go this sister. Oh, I didn't know they had a statue of Sojourner Truth. You know what I'm saying? Wow, they put a statue of Madam C.J. Walker, you know what I'm saying, in her hometown. Like, that we can be honored by our statue. Let them have their statues of shame. We all know the Confederacy lost. So if these white motherfuckers praising this goddamn losing ass general, let that be a reflection on them. No, we want to erase their history. You know why we want to erase their history? Because I bet you the new fucking concept is, if we can erase the fucking racist history and shit like that, then we can their babies growing with no fucking imagery of racism, and then let's see if they'll still practice racism. And that's not going to make us better. That's not going to strengthen us. That's not going to change the future. That's just going to make us sit around again on this experiment to see, can we create non-racist white people? That's not our job. And while we run around trying to create non-racist white people, what we going to do about the racist ass Asians? And what we going to do about the racist ass What the? No, they're gonna be the new ones fucking us over.
Is this like the people playing a part in the rebranding? So like, the statues is coming out. The people tearing down the statues, but you see like the corporations, they get white, scrubbing Aunt Jemima, scrubbing Uncle Ben, they scrubbing all of that shit off of there. It's just like the people participated in that. But we knowing that none of the laws is changing, none of the structure is changing. It's just the image of it. You seeing actors saying, they disassociating themselves with the black character. The Cleveland show? He like, oh no, I can't do this. This should be for a black person. It's just like.
But you know what's funny? I'm gonna tell you something. I never watched the Cleveland show because I found out he was voiced by a white person. Like he was voiced by a white person. I was like, oh what? Oh hell no! It was just weird. Like I can't.
I never knew that shit. But I mean, I'm not really into the show. But it's a funny show, you know what I'm saying? I like Cleveland. Really, Sean got me on Cleveland. He always talks about it. But, it's like a rebranding happening, you know what I'm saying? It's like now you see like these major companies and corporations like wanting to just let go of those type of imagery. But we all know it's like, are you going to hire black people? Are you going to, even though we know what we need to do, which is establish our own shit. But if we stick on to that point, it's like, well, is that part of it gonna change? Are y'all gonna stop doing this? Are we able to voice our opinions? And, both of us been in corporate America, so as a black man, you really don't got a big voice in there. You like, I just need to do my job or stay the hell out the way, so I can just get paid and keep it going. Is that going to change? Is these structures going to change? And we know that's not. It's just the imagery of it. You know what I'm saying? And what you said was an interesting point because I didn't even think of it from that way. So it's like when you just get when you just really think about it on a just like the next layer or whatever. That's interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what I said?
Yeah, like just basically like the people wanting to try to change white America through destroying the imagery.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they want to do. I bet you that's what they want to do. And the reason why I say that is because they keep on saying, and I heard this since I was young, when the old white people die, the young white people, they're not racist like the old ones.
Yeah,
so then I'm like, well, then why y'all keep... Yeah, hip-hop. The most racist, anti-black fucking music, right? And they grew up listening to this shit. And we like, this is dumb shit, yo. So then it goes... So now it's like, okay, so why are y'all tearing down their statues? Because I don't understand... I never understood the statue shit. So you're going to sit here now and tear down a statue that isn't positive for them. For what purpose? Like, how does that affect you? You see what I'm saying? How do that affect you as a black person? If I'm inside Virginia and they have Robert E. Lee or some shit like that, his statue up there, and I'm walking with my sons, and my sons be like, Dad, who's that? You know what I'm telling my sons? This racist ass white person. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm gonna say. Like,
why do you even know these motherfuckers, yo?
Huh?
You niggas, that's why they know these motherfuckers. I be saying some of these shit like, who the fuck is that? Like,
so a lot of motherfuckers. Let them wear that chain. You see what I'm saying? That way, when you're walking in D.C. or something and you see Martin Luther King and your child like, well, who's that, Dad? Or who is this person over here, Dad? Or what do this statue mean? Then it's like, oh wow, okay, well, this monument that is dedicated to all the black children that was lost in the country. That was murdered or some shit like that. Oh, wow, okay. And yeah, this right here, this woman here, she was the first woman to, to run for president. Or this woman here, she was the first multi-millionaire. Like, we have great
black artists should be hammering out statues right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's going to find a place to put that shit. Somebody's going to find a place to put it. Just create it.
Because you know what happens? This is what happens now. You destroy my fucking statues, right? And then you turn around and talking about, look, we just put up a statue of a black woman, a black man, a black woman, and a black child, and it's called The Family. What do you think no crackers gonna do? Now they gonna target your shit.
Shoot the nose off.
You know, saying all kind of shit, and it's just like, yo, leave they shame up, yo. That way we don't forget who they are, and they don't forget who they are. See, when you let them, when they quote unquote forget who they are, which they're not because it's in their nature, what happened is we forget who they are. They're who they are. We forget who we are. See, we're not lions, Smoke. We're gazelles. Them whites is lions. So when you make the lion forget that they're a lion, that's in his nature. It's the gazelle that's going to forget. And it's more detrimental for the gazelle that the lion forgets. That you forget, that who the lion is. Because the lion needs one day to remember. It can attack you and kill you. But you every day is going to walk to a fountain, underwater hole or whatever to drink, and you're going to be like, oh, there go the lion. Hi, lion. While you drink water.
Yeah.
How you doing?
And the gazelle not a predator. You're not a predator. So that nigga ain't trying to do nothing to the lion on no day.
The gazelle is safe and good about it. Oh, no. I raised that lion to like gazelles. Okay. But what happened when that lion find out who they are? You see what I'm saying? We're not prepared. And that's how we are. We're not lions. We're gazelle. We're not predators. We're not in a position for that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you something. Oh, so let me get to some of the news too, cause I don't want to keep going off track. But here's another one just to talk about the businesses you were talking about, right? So they go, Goya Food CEO is not sorry after boycotts called because he praised Trump, right? So they go, Goya Food CEO Robert Unanue, Unanue, Friday defended telling President Donald Trump that the country is truly blessed under his leadership, as calls grew in the Latino community to boycott food sold by the nation's largest Hispanic-owned food company. Right? So he goes, it's suppression of speech. That's what he said on Fox News, right? He said, I'm not apologizing for saying it. And if you are called by the President of the United States, you are not going to say no, right? I'm sorry. I'm busy. No, thank you, right? And it's funny. Oh, so then this thing about him, Goya. Goya is a Hispanic. You know what Goya brand of food is, right? That's that Hispanic Latino food, right?
Yeah. Goya beans.
For the Spanish people, right? But watch this, Smokes. So say how funny the Goya shit is, right, for Spanish people. Goya was founded by Unanue's grandparents, Prudencio and Carolina Unanue or whatever, two immigrants from Spain who launched the food company in 1936 in Lower Manhattan. Since then, the company's product has been a staple in the Latino households, right? Remember, that's what I was saying earlier about, the expanding part. That happens with your customer base. But
right.
Those are two immigrants from Spain. You understand what I'm saying, Smoke?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, they're Spaniards. But who mainly eats Goya foods and shit? Hispanics, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that.
Right.
They're not Hispanic. They're white. These are just the people that conquered your people. Because they ain't like eat Mexican or no shit. He said people came from Spain. Boy. That's a white boy. But
The oppressor.
the boycotting is stupid. I totally agree with him. If the fucking president calls you up, you're not gonna turn that down. This is a businessman. This is a man. Again, we're just talking about what black people need, right? His grandparents, right, came. His grandparents, not even his parents. You get it? His grandparents came to America, started the damn business in 1936 for all the black people that like to say, yeah, man, but that shit gonna take forever. Yeah, man, but that shit gonna take forever, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we ain't got time. That's gonna take forever. They started 1936.
Oh, yeah, I know all these stores.
Yep. Everywhere. We black people buy Goya. Latinos buy Goya.
In the Hispanic or Latino section, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Sometimes be an international food where they got all of them lumped together. But they got their own section. You go right in there, you're going to see 800,000 Goya products right there.
And guess what? In their corner store, too. Remember we were just talking about with the black.
That's all I got on there.
Remember I was saying that with the Black Family Dollar and the Black Dollar General.
Right. Same concept.
See, whatever we don't make, we gotta buy from the other races. But whatever we do make, we only selling that. You see what I'm saying? So guess what? The Latinos go inside there, they buy their Latino shit, and they leave. The blacks go inside there, and guess what they're gonna say? Oh, black beans, Goya. Shit, that's all the shit they got here, Goya.
All the shit say Goya. Kidney bean, Goya. Right, Goya.
They don't have multiple shit. So I don't want to hear black people say we can't do that. I don't want to hear black people say it can't be done. Because it's being done. That's economy. You dig? That's economy. That's why these Latinos got so much fucking power. They don't got power because they stick together. They got power because they're part of an economy. Whites are part of an economy. Chinese are part of an economy. They're playing. That's how the game works when it comes to capitalism. Not bitching and complaining. So now he says he ain't going to apologize, right? He said, I didn't say that to the Obamas, and I didn't say that to President Trump. He said he explained in 2012, Michelle Obama called him to come to Tampa in support of her Healthy Eating initiative as the most recognized Hispanic brand in the country. He later went to the White House to introduce Hispanic Heritage Month. You see? This is a businessman. Why would this businessman ruin political opportunities and favors, connections?
That's what it's about.
That's what it's about. Bob Johnson keeps saying that shit, and niggas not getting what Bob Johnson's saying. But he says the same fucking shit, yo. I'm not sitting over here trying to chill out with you. I'm pretty sure I do business with racists all the time. But I'm just going inside there to get the deal done. I'm not trying to be their friend. So who's telling us that we need to be friends with these people? Those are the ones that's misdirecting black people. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you. They even got the situation here too, Smoke. Just to talk about one thing. Let's talk about Terry Crews, right? You remember that Terry Crews comment? Where he talking about
man. The black supremacy and all that.
But here's the funny thing with the whole Terry Crews comments, right? So they go, Don Lemon and Terry Crews got into a heated discussion about Black Lives Matter during a CNN broadcast on Monday, right? Let me see if I have another. Do I have one story of that or is it two? I guess it's just one. Cause I want to make sure it's the one that got more information in it. All right. So he goes, Don Lemon and Terry Crews. All right. So In the clip, Lemon says, Terry, you're a high-profile person. You're writing things out there. You know you're going to get backlash. All right, so what happens is this. Terry Crews said on June 30th, he goes on Twitter and he tweets, if you are a child of God, you are my brother and sister. I have family of every race, creed, and ideology. We must ensure that hashtag Black Lives Matter don't morph into Black Lives Better, right? Lemon continues talking about the origins of Black Lives Matter. The Black Lives Matter movement was started because it was about police brutality. If you want an all Black Lives Matter movement, then talk about gun violence in communities, including black communities. Then start that movement with the name. But that's not what Black Lives Matter is about. That's what Don Lemon's saying. He said it's like telling somebody a movement about cancer matters, and then somebody said, but why are you not talking about HIV? It's not the same thing. So Cruz rebutted, but when you look at the organization, police brutality is not the only thing they're talking about. Then Lemon begins talking over Cruz, causing Cruz audio to break up momentarily before Cruz paused and nod as Lemon continued. People who live near each other, black people kill each other, same as whites. 87% of whites are killed by whites, Lemon said. Cruz agreed. As Cruz tried to say more, Lemon's audio overpowered him again. Earlier in the interview, Cruz explained why he thinks his stance is important. I want to bring up the fact that there are some very militant-type forces in Black Lives Matter. And what I was issuing a warning, he said. I've been a part of different groups. I've been a part of different things. And you see how extremes can go far. And when you issue a warning and a warning is seen as detrimental to the movement, how can you ever have checks and balances? He continued, someone wants to control the narrative, and I view it as a very, very dangerous self-righteous that was developing that really viewed themselves as better. Cruz added that Black Lives Matter is a great mantra and a true mantra, but takes issue with the leaders who are responsible for putting the things together. Cruz didn't comment on his interview with Lemon directly, but shared on Twitter. If I'm truly your equal, I can discuss my concerns with you. But if I'm not, all my concerns are perceived as threats. They said in June, Cruz stood by another controversial tweet warning against black supremacy. The Brooklyn Nine-Nine star tweeted on June 7th, defeating white supremacy without white people creates black supremacy. Equality is the truth. Like it or not, we are all in this together. The tweet immediately went viral with both Terry Crews and black supremacy trending on Twitter. Now, the funny thing about Terry Crews comment and shit like that, right? I don't see. Let me see how I'm gonna word this. I don't see what's wrong, right, with what he said, but I don't understand why he got a problem with it, right? What I mean by that is this. Defeating white supremacy without white people create black supremacy. Okay. What the fuck is the problem with that? You see what I'm saying? What the fuck is the problem with that? If you're telling me that for 400 plus years we were subjugated under white supremacy, right? Wouldn't the counter to white supremacy be black supremacy? Why would the Yeah, because I'm like, why wouldn't you want to be supreme? That makes no sense to me because guess what? The Latinos have La Raza, and that should translate to the race. You don't think they got a supremacy in their mind? You don't think the Asians have a supremacy? You don't think East Indians have supremacy? You know what I'm saying? Ideologies and shit like that. These things are not just subjugated to whites. We keep on.
He probably can't envision it. He probably done been beat down so long that he can't even envision it happening.
Who, Terry Crews?
He can't. Terry Crews, yeah. He probably can't even envision black supremacy. So I was like,
black. When that dude, when he would get his balls felt up on, he's broken. That dude only fight against black because he want to stay in the good graces of white. He literally said that. He literally said that on Congress. That the reason why he didn't want to do anything against the fucking white boy who was molesting him in front of his goddamn woman is because he was afraid to lose it all. You see what I'm saying? So all of this shit he doing is because he's trying to please his people so they can feel comfortable around him and they can act how they want to act knowing that he would be good and stay in his lane. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with black people believing in supremacy. There's nothing wrong.
Just like we said earlier in the show, it ain't no safe place, Terry. It ain't no safe place. So no matter how much you try to, no matter how much you try to fit into that, he still is who he is, which is a black man in America. Doesn't matter how much you try to curb your thoughts or try to say something politically correct.
He gonna be like the dude from Hootie and the Blow. She gonna say, "I can't pretend that this is okay anymore. I have to say something," but it's too late. But you know what? We got 36 more minutes into the show. We got a caller, so let's get a caller in. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
This is I'm calling from the D.
So you calling from the where?
From Detroit.
All right. What's going on, Detroit?
Oh man.
You got a question? Are you just listening?
No. I was wanted to speak. I was just, I seen the topic. As far as like what you were saying, like the whole, the white people or the dominant society is not, going to fix our internal problems.
Right.
And like I said, I think that, a lot of this is going to have to run its course. I think, in the state of Black American society and where the culture is going now, you're going to have to what the Bible says, separate the wheat from the tares, or thin the herd, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
I don't see a thing of like all of us being destroyed, because you got this narrative, now even the people that I would consider our cultural kings and queens, the people that have the voice of the culture, now they're pushing this, and have been doing this, but now they're, you have these people now that are pushing this narrative that we're just so dysfunctional and destroyed as a people, this and that third. But like I said, I think that it's really going to come like once the baby boomer generation of Black America, has all passed, like that next 10 to 15 years, and Generation X, are the elders. I think that you're going to see a real big decline in Black America, as far as in, procreation, as far as in like community, in a lot of things. That's gonna be just start to really just go in the trash. But I think from that, you're gonna have the people that want to stay themselves. You're gonna have people that's gonna be produced from that are gonna what's the word I'm looking for? That are going to have the opposite effect, meaning like, okay, you got all these destroyed-minded people in Black American society, right?
Right.
But from the destroyed, you're gonna have all these conscious people, all these people that are being studied, because it's going to be about your survival as a culture and as as a genetic and cultural situation. If that makes sense, what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like saying the dead leaves falling off, and then underneath it is all the fresh new
Right.
leaves. I got you.
Right. Exactly. Exact. That's all I'm saying. Like, at this point, man, a lot of us, and like I said, sometimes it's sad to see the culture go like this, but a lot of us is just you have to really write off, because I'm looking around and I'm like, man, you got so many people. It's just negative, and I think a lot of times the fight ain't really with the white folks no more.
Right.
That fight of trying to be a part of their world and be equal with them. It's like the the dominant society is like, listen, this is the best you're gonna get. We done get you can come and live in our community, shop at our stores. You can have your white women. Hey, you can do all that. You know what I'm saying? You can,
Right.
we give you crumbs off the table. But let's say, but as far as like making it where we can be in society comfortable and enjoy each other and enjoy our communities and enjoy our that just never. It's just not gonna happen. That's just something that
At all.
it's just. It's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen it when I was in the Navy. You know what I'm saying? And I seen and it was like an epiphany. It came. When they was talking about when the Navy first started instituting it being the punishment against DUIs, and they was They was talking about the process of it. And I was like, well, because the Navy is like, it's the government uses the Navy as case studies because it's such a closed off environment. And I was like, well, shoot, if you can see problem if we supposed to be citizens, if we supposed to be American citizens, a government wants its citizens not to destroy themselves. So it's like, well, how can you have a group of people where you can see problems and you not trying to help that people? Like a lot of people get mad when you say that. Well, y'all need to take responsibility, but no, if we integrate it into your society and you have the dominant position, that I mean, it's like So it's just to me, I'm just like, man, like I don't even want to be equal with the white folks no more. They need to let that go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We need to
that narrative gotta
be
go.
try to
Man.
Yeah, we need to just work on trying to preserve ourselves as a people. Yeah, that's
Totally.
all. I ain't gonna take up too much of your time. I just wanted to, vent.
Nah, that was a good bill.
Good call. Good point.
And we always talk about that too, because at the end of the day, I mean, even the thought of equality, you want to be equal to the person that you're saying oppressed your people. No, you should want to dominate. You should want to take over. You should want to say to yourself, I don't want to be equal to white people. I want to rule America. I want to make the rules and shit. I want to control. I want to take over. I don't want to be equal. Equal is not winning or losing. I want a decision. I don't want to be on the fence. If I'm saying that white people is the devil, if I'm saying that white people oppressed me, then guess what? I need to make it my business that I'm over white people. Because when they're over me, I know what happened. I never will let that happen again. But we don't got that mentality because we keep thinking, no, we have to be equal to them. It's a failed narrative, man. But I appreciate the call, brother, man. And call back again. We have one more call. Yeah, this is the call that I thought the last call was. All right, caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Caller, 314.
What's happening?
What's going on, Piagi?
Yeah, I can.
One of these times I want you to tell me, people say they want to separate. And I would like to know what that's going to look like. And I'm going to show you why that you cannot divorce yourself from what really is white supremacy. Is Asian supremacy, is Nigerian supremacy.
Yep.
See, here's the thing. And then, too, okay, suppose you got a piece of land the size of anything. What's the first thing that you got to put in that place, in that land? You got to have electricity.
All right.
You got to have water supply.
Yeah.
Your electricity might be a dam. You got to have sewage. Now, I'm going to ask this question. Who amongst these ones that want to separate can engineer all of that? Then, where are you going to buy your parts from?
Exactly.
Because I have worked on projects to put in power generating systems, station, 250 megawatt in a state in Nigeria. You can't go to Home Depot and buy no turbine. You got to get your turbines from somebody like General Electric or maybe a German company, I can't think of their name, Siemens. And those are the two best ones in the world. China has some, but...
Yeah. Fucking China.
Now, some General Electric don't want to sell it to you. And don't say that don't happen, because...
Right, it happens.
I inquired with a company down in Louisiana, and I tell you, the Cox brothers in Texas about buying fertilizer. They don't want to sell it. There's another company down in Louisiana. They didn't want to sell it neither. They say they can't compete with, guess who? Like, we can't compete with Asia. So the reality is what it is. The only country in the world that has self-dependency is the United States. And they ain't going to say they're the only one, but they're the one that you're in that has self-dependency. And you have,
right.
Well, when you start talking about, well, we're going to start our own nation, those people may not want to sell that stuff to you. You can't make them sell it to you. And if they sell it to you, it's going to be at a price that's going to be completely outlandish.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you like it is, because I've done these things before. I tried to buy a building for a poultry farm over in Nigeria. And I forget where the company is. I have to look at my notes. They wouldn't sell it. Oh, I tell you another thing. I tried to talk to a company out in California. They just built the first ammonia plant in that state, and getting around all the rules and regulations. You know, California is very hard when it comes down to standards as far as the environment is concerned.
Right.
And I can't think of the name of the company. They wouldn't talk to me. So that's just the way it is. Them people don't have to talk to you.
Yeah. See, when I was a kid, Pianki, I grew up under the ideologies of separate from the white man, live off the land, and all of that shit. Then as I got older, then you start to get into the thing called taking care of yourself. And I'm looking at all the people that was, we're going to, work together, group this, and, baking breads and all kind of shit, because they separating from everything from white. And all of them end up having to work. All of them end up breaking up the families. All of them end up having to, leave these groups. So when I got older, that's when I realized it's the economy. If we don't produce, because again, just like you're saying, if I have to rely on another group of people, if they, like, for example, my girl, she was telling me a story about how the guns, buying guns. So I'm going to say two stories. One, me and Smoke, we goes to the gun show in South Carolina. So we goes there, and straight up, some of the white people, when we walk to their booth, they would just turn their back to us. I'm not selling ammo weapons to y'all. Fuck out of here. My girl told me a story that there was a bunch of black people lined up to a gun store to buy guns. White dude owned it. He's like, I'm not selling all these guns to black people. And they start screaming, oh, that's racism. Yeah. But just like you said, if y'all have, if somebody else have control over stuff that we need, we're at their mercy. We're at their mercy, because they say, oh, I noticed a lot of these blacks is buying seeds and dirt and fertilizer. You know what? Put a hold on blacks getting any of this shit. Now we shit out of luck. And that's why I say we have to start to have more control over our economy and what we control. because
you got to have people that can see. Now, here's the next thing: you got to have people that can do that. And and here's the thing: people. Let's take engineers, for instance. I put up bridges and stuff.
Okay.
I'm not going to put up bridges for somebody that's not a surety. I mean, how you going to pay me?
Right.
When I put up a bridge for the state of Missouri, and I bill that contractor, my money's coming. I don't have to worry about that. But you can't be working for somebody that you don't know. Then here's another thing: people that's working for someone that's got a pension. So you working for Exxon Mobil. My grandson works for Exxon. He got a pension, health care, and all those things. A truck. All right, now who's going to duplicate that? I'm not saying it's not impossible, but from the get-go, who's going to duplicate that?
See, but me, I say don't duplicate it. I say don't. Because how he contributes is when he gets the money from his high-paying job, then when you're going to the black restaurants and you're buying the black soaps and the black plates and stuff, that's how you contribute. You know what I'm saying? Your black on TV stuff.
What they're doing, they're saving for their retirement and they're paying their children's education out of their pocket rather than going to get loans.
Exactly. That's the way to go.
And
I'm pretty sure they're in school for what? Engineering and something like that, right?
They in school for high-paying, high-demand jobs. Right. And then I'm going to tell you something else. Once you've worked and you have what's called residual income, if your retirement, is $80,000 a year retirement, you ain't got to get up when you get to. You got $80,000 coming in. Then guess what you can do? You can send your grandchildren to wherever you want to. Pay for this, pay for that.
Yep.
You see what I'm talking about? So that's the thing that people have worked for and have on their mind. The investments and so on. Now, the white folks, the true white supremacy, whites don't have supreme in all things. Right. They don't. China has taken the shipbuilding from them. I think the top 10 shipbuilders in the country. I'm talking about tonnage, what they call TEUs, 20-foot equivalent units. China outproduced. I say United States may be around 19,000. China is up around 38,000 in some of its companies. That's double.
Mm-hmm. You see? And that's what I'm talking about.
Korea. Check this out. South Korea in 1970s, the average South Korean made less than a Ghanaian in West Africa. Less than $300 a year. Look at them now. You know what Samsung used to do long time ago? They used to sell apples, grapes, bananas as a fruit dealer. Now look what they are.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And because they're race first, and they already had an agenda, a 100-year plan to dominate the world.
Now that's true. You know what? Now you're absolutely right. You go in the basement of some of these corporations, they got a library, and they got volumes on the shelf, and the volumes are numbered by the year. At the beginning of the year, they should be where they left off the previous year, 2019, and they showing on December the 31st, 2020, where they should be in order to begin 2021. That's what they do.
Mm-hmm. See, that's what probably going to get.
You know who everybody shoots for? The United States.
What?
The United States is the top dog on the block.
Number one economy.
And everybody shoots for them. You know who our enemy is? China.
Yes.
China is your enemy.
Because they're the number two in emerging economy. They're really
trying
strong.
to be number one.
Trying to be number one.
And they got what's called the Belt and Road, Belt and Road, and they had roads back in the days of caravans and that. They had a belt road that people used to travel these caravans to go into Siberia, on down into Europe, and so on and so on. Now they've expanded that road over into Africa.
Yep. And that's my whole thing. I'm not worrying about white people.
Right.
No, you shouldn't be worried about them. They just competition, that's all. And I tell you something else. Some worse people you can work for look like you. I can give you that, tell you that right now. And I mean, that's just the way it is right now.
Yeah, we know.
I've had some good. I have some good relationship with some African Americans, but some of the worst that you can work for. I tell you what. You ever heard of Bear Shangle? You know where I've lost more money? I've lost more money with people that's in what you call the conscious community. Whether I've lent them money, whether I put money into buildings like in St. Louis, the Clifford Wilson Center, where everybody used to come on Sundays and Saturdays and listen to lectures and all that stuff. I've lost more money in that kind of stuff than I have anything else.
Yeah, because a lot of them is they're not focused on economy. They're focused on
to live off of. That's exactly what. Like some of these African center schools, you got an owner that started a school. They use that school to generate money so they can send their kids to them Ivy League schools.
Exactly. And just like I said, Bianchi, I grew up in this type of environment as a kid. You know what I'm saying? So I remember growing up. Yeah, so anytime you go and you'll see that mother with a small child, that was me. You know what I'm saying? Like I was a child growing up there and learning all of this. So, and that's why I'm so observant of how of what was going on in the world and the game now. But I always noticed that it's always donations. It's always free help and free labor. Always. Always. Right. And that's what I realized.
I got stuff from Leonard Jeffries. I got all of Dr. Clark, all them books. All that stuff. Now, I ain't going to say that they all that way, but some of them just told you. You know, it's just like people go to church for 40 years. My goodness, if you ain't got it in the first 2 or 3, what you going for 40 years for? And hear the same person talk the same stuff all the time.
The community the same, nothing changed. Yeah.
Now,
it's like
pollution. I ain't going to talk bad. I'm not really talking bad. I guess you can say I'm just kind of talking negative, but I'm just telling you like this. The solution, educate your kids.
Yes.
Right.
Because that is enough. Yes.
The things you can do, I'm going to tell you, I tell this to everybody. I lecture parents on how to prepare their children for higher education. And start them off as early as you can, 3rd grade, even before that if you can. That way you can see what the child has a knack for. Another thing, get some of those little workbooks that used to cost like $1.98 and have math problems in them. Make them do 100 problems every night. In the 3rd grade, get the books for 2nd grade, 3rd grade, and 4th grade. When they get up to the 4th grade, go to the 5th grade, maybe the 6th grade, and make sure you get some books that have word problems where they got to read and think. And get on, work your way on up to calculus. That's the way you do it. Because that's what's going to be in it. People ain't going to be growing no damn gardens. Who have time to grow a garden when they come home from doing all this stuff? You understand what I'm saying? You know what they're doing now? They are working.
The reality.
Whites are planning on colonizing Mars. They may just leave all blacks here anyway. But I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
And see, the laws here ain't going to apply to Mars. That Constitution applies to the Earth. It don't apply to Mars.
Yeah.
But Tuskegee is working on projects to expand the uses of the potato to provide food on that planet. You got people that's working with antimatter. And that there's going to be something else. My kids, our kids need to get into those things, man. Antimatter is going to be And if they can use that as an energy source, it's all over. It's unlimited what you can do with stuff like that.
Yeah. But we too busy into the entertaining everybody because we think that's where you get the big bucks. But that's why it's important.
You got children?
Yeah, I got 2.
Yeah.
5 and 7.
You just got to take your children and work them hard to the point that somebody gonna want to call the Division of Family Service on you. I'm telling you, don't let up on them. I'm telling you from experience. Stay on them, because one day they're gonna come back and they're gonna thank you for the toughness that you was. I'm telling you.
Oh no, I believe that because that's what I practice. I practice that, and because even before the coronavirus stuff, my sons, they already they go to school, then they come home. Mm-hmm. We educate them. The weekends they get educated. They have to and just like you said with even the reading and comprehension, because when I was in school it was reading and comprehension. So I would always have them reading, and then they have to break down, what the story was about. Why did this happen? Why did that? So they can use their brain. Even when we have regular conversation, they're not allowed to say, I can't or I don't know. Because I'll say, well, you did it, so you had to know. So,
you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, and they'll develop the conversation.
Don't they do it at the football combine? What do they do at a football combine? They bring a lot of boys in there. Jump.
Run and jump.
Throw. Run.
Mm-hmm.
They may bring 100 of them in there. They may bring 1,500 in there. But the ones that make the cuts, you probably got, 10 or 20? So what happens to the rest of them? Well, y'all go home, work hard, and come back next year. Well, if you can do that in your basketball camps and also in your football combine, then why come you not doing that with your children to see what type of inner enough ability that they have?
I totally agree.
You know what I'm saying? My grandson, when he was a little boy, I got him involved in African dance and drumming. And I seen him out there on the floor, and I looked at his footwork. And I say, he's going to be an infielder in baseball. And by golly, I started training him with baseball when he was 2. He had 2 things that he was responsible for: academics and baseball. Now, he could do whatever else he wanted to. He even tried wrestling, but he couldn't do that. But it paid off. He's an engineering student at Louisiana State University. Played baseball for LSU.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the things I made him stay focused on, and that's what you got to do.
Right.
All kids are not going to be the same, and sometimes, nowadays the girls, you got to, they're getting into areas where they were never seen before, and you can't stop them. I tell you what, a female makes a better combat pilot than a male does, because their body allows them to take the G-forces better than a male.
I didn't know that, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
I know there was a woman.
I heard that was shooting.
Yeah, I know there was a woman.
Naturally better shooter.
That was part of the Tuskegee Flyers Flight Club or something like that. I saw that on Chicago.
These dudes that's out here, people out here that's doing all this riding, looting and stuff. Yeah. I hate to say this, but I don't see no future for them. Now, they may be able to turn around and get involved in something, but they don't have as much going for them as somebody who's in college or in high school that's hitting them books and staying on focus. Yeah. Because when time comes for somebody to choose who they want, it's going to be them. A is from 90 to 100. Well, if you got somebody that's scoring 97, 98, 99, are you going to choose them over a person that's doing 90, 91, and 92?
Nah, of course. You're always going to want the best.
Yes,
You're always going to want that. See, that's why I look at it more so like, instead of always focusing on the ones who isn't, there should be more focus on the one that is, and really, for them to
Absolutely
understand
right.
what they should be doing. Yeah, because even Martin Luther King said it, but the ones who know is supposed to be the ones that end up helping the ones who don't know. And how you help,
You're absolutely right.
yeah, so the way
You're
you help is,
absolutely right.
so we have to feed them. Because once they get up and they're creating that top layer of for the black economy, all them bottom people, those are workers. They're in your factories now. They're assembling your cars. they're you know what I'm saying, they're doing everything that the Chinese are they got their people doing in the factories, assembling
You
phones
know,
and all kind of shit like that.
I just left my accountant, well, a lady that does my taxes.
Right.
She got two daughters. She's from India. Both of them in medicine. One's a doctor. The other one is attending college, getting ready to enter into that field. Two doctors in one family, but that ain't uncommon. I've known
No.
Nigerian families where the husband was a doctor, the wife's a doctor. You know how you see the Huxtables, and people
Yeah.
used to say that there is a myth in the black community. Well, really,
Yeah.
it's not, because the way you use the word black today, you can find quote unquote blacks that do
Oh
live
yeah.
out that role that the Huxtables is doing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've seen a lot of them. I'm shocked. Like I have my cousin in Smoke. You gonna lie? That's Sean, right? My cousin Sean.
Mm-hmm.
He we grew up, you know, saying pretty standard hood in Brooklyn, right? So
Mm-hmm.
now we're older, so he's around. When he went to college and stuff, and he's around these different type of black people. One of the things that bugged him out was seeing a friend who had a mother and a father. Nobody ever been to jail before, and they're like 3 generations rich. And he's like,
Yeah.
yo, what the fuck? Like, I never thought I would see this.
You know what? You know what? I want you to listen to what I'm saying. You got
That's
black
crazy.
kids in the field too.
You talking about?
Back in the 1950s, you had a young black male in Chicago who built a model nuclear reactor on his living room.
Wow.
You guys
Wow.
are smart. That's one of the reasons. I know y'all always hear me saying one of the reasons I voted for Donald Trump, because he's for school choice.
Right.
Because you have African American children that's coming from disadvantaged families, but the parents are on the ball. They just don't have the money to put these children where they need to be at a certain time.
Right.
That's why Trump said school choice, and that money the parents should be able to use where they want to use it at.
Yeah. See, because we don't think, again, race first, economy, stuff like that, we look at it, somebody else could trick us and say, you shouldn't worry about choice. You should worry about the public schools because, and they say, well, let me do it that way because somebody convinced me. But if we have one economy gold, let's better the race, then we should look at it all like, oh, that makes sense for us as a people together to get some of that information for our kids to get better. Because, again, something that you said is how I raise my children. My son is tall for 7, and my youngest son, he's very athletic, right? But the oldest one, he's more brainy, right? He at 7 years old, he makes levels on video games and all kinds of stuff like that. So I already told him, both of them, they're going to be engineers. So the reason for that, because my friends, they'll be like, well, why your boys aren't playing sports or whatever? So I said, well, you know what? When I'm looking at the Indian kids who's always end up being in the medical field, and the Asians and stuff, I said I never seen them in the doing sports. I don't see them doing all that sports and stuff like that.
Except for cricket.
But yeah, cricket. Yeah, I guess their country's little sports or whatever.
That's the game they play at their country. The game I
Yeah,
don't know
but
jack about.
But they don't push them, I feel like, the way we'll have ours pushed. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, that's standard right there. But anything above that.
Extracurricular.
Yeah.
You know
yeah, it might be. Yeah.
Cause
that's what I tell them. They can do extracurricular.
Back in the 1940s, they began to build what's called the ITT, Indian Technology Schools. And they got them in certain provinces. They would go around the country, send teams around the country, and they would do just basically what we call a combine. And when they found a child that was suitable, they would put them in their school. We done the same thing in the United States. I was in a technical high school. Before I could get into that technical high school, I had to go down to the Department of Labor on St. Louis on Washington Avenue, Washington and Broadway. Went upstairs on the second floor, and they took me in a room. They gave me some tests. They wanted to test my mechanical aptitude because I wanted to go to O'Fallon Tech, which was a technical high school. You know what all they had in that technical high school? They had auto mechanics. We worked on the teacher's cars. They had aero mechanics. They had airplanes up in there. They had electrical. They had pre-engineered. They had pre-med. They had bake shop. They had cosmetology. They had sheet. They had everything in that school. It was better than Rankin, which is a white technical school that you have to pay to go to. And the only reason they still in the city because it's in their charter that they have to always be located in the city of St. Louis. So we was getting stuff in O'Fallon Tech for free that people have to pay to get from Rankin today. And O'Fallon Tech is no longer.
Oh, it's no longer there. Wow.
It's no longer. It's not a technical high school. There's no technical high school no more. So that's the difference.
Right.
And that school was built in 1957. And by the time, like in about 64, because in 68 they won the state champ in basketball, it was about 75% black then. Whites, started moving out of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So you're right. I don't worry about no racism, and I'm not telling people they should. But now racist, every damn thing you can look at is racist.
Exactly.
So what
to
do
me,
you
I
worry
look
about?
at it.
The thing you worry about is educating your child, and you protect them, of course. We ain't saying nothing don't exist, but you protect your children. You teach them how to maneuver away in the hood, in the public and everything, how to be cautious and all those things. Want to make sure your children have respect for authority. First off, you. Then what they demonstrate around you, they will take it elsewhere and people will begin to admire it. School, then of course, if they have respect in the streets, I'm down here down south. I'm up north right now, but down south where I've been for the last, people are so damn polite down there. I mean, it's scary. Yes, sir. No, sir. Even the white folks. Yes, sir. No, sir. It's scary. So where you come from.
Yeah, you're right about that. Anyway,
man, I'm going to let you get back to your show. I just had to jump in there when I heard people talk about that white supremacy. White folks know damn well they ain't number one over everybody because they lose all the time. But you know what makes the country great is people. Like what your children has the potential to be to add to this nation. Your child being an engineer may come up with the next type of propulsion system that would allow our craft to travel at the speed of light, or even in quantum fraction. That's what makes this country great, and that's how your child can continue to make it greater, to help it to make a better world.
Yeah. And that's how I look at it. I'm like, instead of crying about it, hey, take over. Conquer. If you don't like the rules, I feel like take it over, and then you make the rules. You rule. You make the rules, and now you don't got to worry about the issues that you're speaking of. And that's what Booker T. Washington said. Booker T. Washington literally said, if in his speech where he talked about casting down the buckets and all that shit like that. He's like
Mm.
he's telling the whites like don't fuck with them immigrants, which is the Italians and stuff when they was coming through over with Ellis Island. He said, fuck with us. You know us, we know you. I know the past. Let the past be the past or whatever. And what he wanted was for black people to be economically strong in America.
That's what you got.
Even that's what you have to be. He said the segregation. He said that'll fall apart because we would have built ourselves up as a culture that the whites would have looked at and wanted to participate. So segregation would have fell apart. Racism. If you don't fuck with us, don't fuck with us. But we got everything because we control the economy. But no, everybody went the way of W.E.B. Du Bois and said we don't want to take over. We just want to participate. So let's write poetry and jazz and all this other shit like this, and it's just like,
You know
no,
what
let's
blacks
control.
took over? They took over in sports. The greatest athletes in the world is them brothers out there on that. Now I'll tell you who's starting to take over them is the Nigerians.
Mm-hmm.
Watch them.
Oh yeah.
Watch them. Basketball, we are good in that, but watch them Nigerians. You know why? Because they hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And you know his thing, and I worked with a young Nigerian girl that came here, and I used to pick her up from work, take her home because she got out around midnight, had to get up and go to school the next morning. And she got ready to have her. She went to CNA school, and she was going to be interviewed to go to work for Barnes Jewish. So she didn't have no clothes. So I took and bought her a skirt, a white blouse, some 2-inch pumps, stocking, and she had her hair fixed like Cicely Tyson. She went into Barnes Jewish over there off the Central West End for that interview. And I noticed some other sisters was coming in there looked like they just came from the club. And yeah, I guess that's what they had to wear. But they had Amaka right on the spot. Had her right on the spot. And we was at another place because she had doing some things with her taxes, and she met some more Nigerians. And she got to talking to them. And they was shaking their head and so forth, and we got ready to go. And you know what those as husband and wife told her? Make us proud. They said, make us proud. That's what they told her. So that's the marching orders that they have, and they're going to fight to make sure that they live out to what they was told to do. Make us proud. Anyway, man, I'm going to let y'all get back to y'all show.
That's
y'all
right,
have
brother.
to start charging me to take up all this time. I got to be careful.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it every time, man. All right, brother.
Wow,
man, hold on, I gotta put the applause for the brother. I gotta put the applause. So yeah. So we got 4 more months for that election. Seeing Trump with that second term. Yeah, it's gonna be a funny 4 more months, yo, because when Trump gets the second term, people are going to be like, you're going to hear a whole lot of, I know he's going to get a second term. You're going to hear that. I've been saying this since 2016. But I want to hear all of the excuses. That's what I'm curious to hear from Roland Martin and everybody else. Because I'm going to be online talking shit. But,
exactly. Old Joe ain't gonna win.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. So it's 11:05. Show is live, but now we gotta go. Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
Nah, but I like what the brother had said. Was what he say? This is the best we gonna get from them. So we gotta keep that in mind, and work on building ourselves up. That stood out to me.
It. Yeah, because we can't sit there and keep talking about, white people, man, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? I understand some people was brought up believing in that notion, and they, it's finally coming out their head. But I never grew up like that, so it's about economy, yo. But until next time, peace. We're out.